Good day, everyone. So for today's video, we'll be having the continuation of the discussion on compound interest. So this is the part 3 of the videos on compound interest. So as a review, let us have the formula in getting the maturity value of a compound interest given that it is being compounded more than once a year. So we have here f, or the future value, is equal to p times 1 plus j raised to n, to where P is our principal, J is the rate per conversion period. Kinukuha natin yung rate per conversion period using the nominal rate and so with the frequency of conversion. And then we also have the N, which is the total number of conversion periods, to which nakukuha natin siya kapag minultiply natin yung ating frequency of conversion with that of the time in years. Okay? So, what if, the big question here in this video is that, what if we are not after the principal or the maturity value? What if we are to look for the nominal rate? What if we are to look for the time? Okay, so this is what we're going to discuss here in this video. Okay, so let us have an example problem para ma-derive natin yung formula in getting the time the time para sa compound interest compounded more than once a year. Suppose we have this problem. How long will it take how long will it take 10,000 pesos to accumulate to 15,000 pesos in a bank savings account at 1.5% compounded monthly? Okay? So isa-isahin po natin yung given. Sabi dito, ang tinatanong dito is how long will it take? So we are pertaining to time. So ang hinahanap natin is the time. Okay? And then how long will it take for 10,000 pesos to accumulate to 15,000 pesos? Ibig sabihin, our principal here is 10,000 pesos and our future value, kasi sabi dyan, accumulate to. So, magiging 15,000. So, our future value is 15,000 pesos. And then, in which this savings account is at 1.5% compounded monthly. So, our nominal rate, which is I raised to m, is equal to 1.5%, to which kapag kinonvert natin siya into decimal, we move the decimal point to decimal places, we have 1, 2. Meaning, this is equivalent to 0.015. Okay? Which is compounded monthly. Ibig sabihin ng compounded monthly, our frequency of conversion, which is m, is monthly, to which ito ay equal kay 12. Okay po? Next is, since it is a compound interest, it is a problem regarding compound interest compounded more than once a year, then we first what? We first get the value of j, which is I raised to m, or the nominal rate, divided by the frequency of conversion. So our nominal rate is 0.15 over our frequency of conversion is 12, and using our calculator, that would be 0.015 divided by 12. That will yield to 0.00125. So this will be the value of j, or the rate per conversion period. Next is the value of n. Next is the value of n. The value of n is obtained by multiplying the frequency of conversion tsaka yung ating time in years. And our frequency of conversion is again monthly, so that is 12. At i-multiply natin siya sa time, which is, yun yung hinahanap natin. Okay? So, yun po yung hinahanap natin, and that is our main problem. Okay po? And by using our formula, the formula in getting the future value of, or the maturity value of a compound interest compounded more than once a year, we have f equals p times 1 plus j raised to n. And ang gagawin natin is to plug in all the necessary values, yung values na nakuha natin sa problem, para makuha natin yung value ni n. So, our future value is 15,000. Our principal is 10,000. And then we have 1 plus, our j is 0.00125. And then we have here n. At yun din po yung hinahanap natin. Now, para ma-simplify natin ito, pag sinimplify natin ito muna ang unahin natin, yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So we have 15,000 equals 10,000 multiplied by 1.00125 raised to n. So, ano pa po yung pwede nating i-manipulate dito? So, we can what? We can just divide both sides by 10,000 para matanggal natin yung 10,000 sa kabilang side ng equation. So, ito po, kapag sinimplify natin to, we have here 15,000 over 10,000 equals 1.00125 raised to n. So, paano po natin makukuha yung value nito? Paano po natin makukuha yung value nito? Exponent yung variable natin. So, we can just apply what we have learned from our previous modules or previous discussion. So, going back to our lessons on the first quarter, we will now be applying the logarithms. Okay po? So, we can have here the log of 15,000 over 10,000 equals the logarithm of 1.00125 raised to n, to which pwede natin itong i-rewrite using the law of logarithm number 3, the product, the exponent, to which the exponent can be transferred here. So we'll be having the log of 15,000 over 10,000 equals the n log of 1.00125. And then we'll be having what? Pwede naman natin itong i-simplify na. This is actually the log of 1.5. So we'll be having the log of 1.5 equals the n log of 1.00125. N lang po yung hinahanap natin. So, para matira po si n dito sa kabilang side ng equation, we divide both sides by the log of 1.00125. Okay, para n na lang po yung matira sa kabilang side ng equation. Hence, we have n equals the log of 1.5 over the log of 1.00125. And using our calculator, we'll be having the log of 1.5 divided by the log of 1.00125. And that will yield to 300. That will yield to 324.57, or simply we have 324, or we can have it 325. Sige. So we have 325. So this would be the value of n. Okay? The value of n. So, ibig sabihin, pwede na po natin makuha yung time kasi given na tayo ng value ni n. So, going back here, if n is 325, so we have here 325 equals our m is 12, and then we have t. Since t yung nawawala, so ang gagawin natin is to divide both sides by 12 para makancel yung 12 dito. So, we'll be having t equals, so we have 325 divided by 12, that will yield to 27.083 years. So, meaning, it takes 27.083 years para mag-accumulate yung 10,000 mo into 15,000. Okay po? So, we'll be having the formal formula in getting the time for a compound interest, given that it is compounded more than once a year, in which nanggaling siya dito sa formula natin, and ang mangyayari is to divide both sides by p, kaya magiging f over p ito, and then we applied the laws of logarithm. To which, ito po is pwede natin i-write into the log of f over p equals the n log of 1 plus j. To which, para makuha natin yung value ni n, we'll now have the formula in getting the time, or the n, sorry. The n equals the log of p f over p over the log of 1 plus j. Okay, so let us have another example to which we're going to apply this formula. Okay, so we have the next example. Suppose we have this one. How long will it take 20,000 pesos to earn 4,500 if the interest is 13% compounded quarterly? Okay? So we are looking for the time. We are looking for the time to which ang ating principal daw ay, sabi dyan, how long will it take 20,000 pesos? So the principal is 20,000. And then, sabi dyan, to earn 4,500. Ibig sabihin ng to earn or tutubo dapat ng 4,500. Ibig sabihin, para makuha natin yung ating future value, what we're going to do is to add this interest. This is actually our interest. So that is 4,500, to which ang ating future value is the principal plus the interest, and that will yield to 24,500. Okay, so our future value is 24,500. And then, sabi dyan, the interest is 13%. So our nominal rate is 13%, to which kapag kinonvert natin siya into decimal, we move the decimal point 2 decimal places to the left, we have 0.13. And then, sabi dyan, compounded quarterly. So our frequency of conversion is quarterly, to which it is equivalent to 4. Okay po? And then, what we're going to do now is to plug in the necessary values to our formula. So, we have n equals, so si n ang hinahanap natin, that's n equals the log of f over p over the log of 1 plus j. Okay, since hindi pa natin alam si j, kunin muna natin si j. So, j is equal to 1 I raised to m over m, to which our nominal rate is equivalent to 0.13, and our frequency of conversion is 4. And by using our calculator, we have here 0.13 divided by 4. So, that will yield to 0.0325. So, ito po yung ating magiging value ni j. Okay? So, we will now have n equals the log of our future value na compute natin is 24,500 over our principal, that is 20,000, over the log of 1 plus j. Our j is 0.0325. Okay, so we'll have, so divide, hatiin lang natin yan. Okay, so we have n equals the log of, so what is 24,500 divided by 20,000? So that is equivalent to 1.225. So we have here the log of 1.225 divided by the log of, so simplify natin ito, we have here the log of 1.0325. Okay, and then using our calculators, we'll be having the log of 1.225, that is the log of 1.225 over the log of 1.0325. And that will yield to, the value of n is 6.35, or simply what? Simply 6. Okay, so kapag ni-round off natin siya, that is simply 6. Okay, so ibig sabihin, we'll now have the idea that the total number of conversion periods is 6. So, pwede na po nating makuha si time. So, we have n is equal to mt, to which our n, sabi natin, is 6. And then our m, or the frequency of conversion kanina ay 4, kasi quarterly, and then we have the time. So we have to divide both sides by 4. By 4, to which ang ating magiging time would be what? That would be that this is equal to, so t is equal to 4 over 6, or simply, that is simply 1.5. Hence, it will take 1.5 years para yung 20,000 mo ay magkaroon ng 4,500 na interest. Okay, so that's how we solve for the time kay compound interest, given that is compounded more than once a year. Okay, and the last one is, how are we going to find for the rate? Okay, so we are looking for the nominal rate of a compound interest. So, let us again have a sample problem kung saan i-derive natin yung formula. Okay, so we'll be having this one. At what nominal rate, compounded semi-annually, will 100,000 pesos accumulate to 175,000 pesos in 8 years? So, ang hinahanap po natin is the nominal rate. So, si I raised to M yung hinahanap natin. Sabi dyan, compounded semi-annually. Hence, our value of M is, since semi-annual siya, semi-annually, that is what? That is 2. And then we are given 100,000 pesos as our principal. And we also have, sabi dyan, accumulate to 175,000. Hence, our future value is 175,000. So, and our time is 8 years. Okay, so by using the formula in getting the future value, we have F equals P times 1 plus J raised to N. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, plug in lang natin yung value. So, we have here, future value is 175,000 equals to 100,000 times 1 plus J raised to the value of N. So, paano po natin makukuha yung value ni N? Again, that is N equals M T, to which our M is 2 and our time is 8. So, we'll be having the value of N as 16. Okay, so we have here 16. So, the value of N is 16. And then, what we're going to do, since ang hinahanap natin dito ay J, so ano po yung pwede muna natin galawin? So, that is for us to divide both sides by 100,000 para matanggal yung 100,000 dito sa kabilang side ng equation. So, we'll be having 175,000 over 100,000 equals what? 1 plus J raised to 16. Okay? And then we simplify this. 175,000 divided by 100,000, that is 1.75. Okay, so let us just double check it using our calculator. So that is 175,000 divided by 100,000, that is 1.75. Okay, so 1.75 equals 1 plus J raised to 16. So, paano natin matatanggal si 16 dito sa kabilang side na equation? So, we can just what? Pwede natin siyang ilagay sa kabila given that magiging fractional na po yung exponent. So, that is 1.75. So, that is 1.75 raised to 1 over 16. Or pwedeng the 16th root of 1.75 para maging 1 plus J na lang yung nasa kabila. Okay po? And in this case, we can now have what? We can now have the value of J by transposing 1 here to the other side of the equation. So, meaning, the value of J would be 1.75 raised to 1 over 16 minus 1. Okay po? And by that, we have 1.75 raised to, sabi natin, 1 over 16 minus, equals, so this will be the value, so minus 1. So, ito po yung magiging value ni J, and that would be equivalent to 0.0356. So, rounded off to the nearest 10,000. And this will be the value of J. value ni J pero hindi pa yun yung nominal rate natin. So, para makuha natin yung nominal rate, what we're going to do is to use the value of J. So, we have here J equals I raised to M over N. So, ang gagawin natin, the value of J is 0.0356 equals the nominal rate, okay, that which is unknown, and then our frequency of conversion, which is equivalent to what? Which is equivalent to 2. Kasi, bakit 2? Kasi nga, yun ay semi-annual. So, we'll be having, what we're going to do now is to multiply both sides by 2 para ma-eliminate natin yung denominator na 2. So, this would become 0. This would become 0.0356 multiplied by 2. So that would be equivalent to 0.0712. And this will be our nominal rate. So our nominal rate, kapag i-convert naman ngayon natin siya into percent, move the decimal point 2 decimal places to the right, hence our nominal rate would be equivalent to 7.12%. So, ito po yung magiging nominal rate natin. Okay, and to formally have our formula in getting the nominal rate, we have this one. So, the interest rate or the nominal rate is so nanggaling din po siya dito sa formula natin kanina, to which ang ginawa is dinivide both sides by P. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng F over P. And then, para matanggal yung N, is that nilipat natin siya sa kabila given that naging fractional na po yung exponent. And then, para matira na lang yung J, we transpose positive 1 to the other side of the equation. So, the formula in getting the interest rate of a compound interest is J equals F over P raised to 1 over N equals 1. So, we'll now use this formula in solving our last problem. So, suppose we have this problem. Suppose we have this. At what nominal rate compounded quarterly will 25,000 pesos earn 10,000 pesos interest in 5 years? So, first is for us to write the given. So, ang hinahanap natin is our nominal rate. So, yun po yung ating hahanapin. Sabi dyan, compounded quarterly. Meaning to say, our frequency of conversion, sabi dyan, quarterly. So, M is equal to 4. And then, sabi dyan, will 25,000 pesos. So, that will be our principal. Okay? So, 25,000 pesos, our principal. Dapat daw ay mag-earn siya ng 10,000 pesos. So, si 10,000 pesos is our compound interest. So, how are we going to find for the future value? So, the future value is simply the principal plus the compound interest. So, that is 25,000 plus 10,000. That is simply 35,000 pesos. And then, our time would be what? Our time would be 5 years. Okay? So, ang pwede na po muna natin kunin is the value of N, to which we multiply M at saka T. And then, ang M natin is 4 kasi quarterly and our time is 5. So, the value of N would be 20. Okay po? And then, we now plug in the values to our formula. We'll now use yung formula na meron tayo. That is J equals what? F over P raised to 1 over N minus 1. Okay po? So, we'll be having J equals, ang ating future value is 35,000. And our principal is 25,000. Okay, raised to 1 over N, that is 1 over, the value of N is 20 minus 1. So, simplify muna natin ito. So, we'll be having 35,000 divided by 25,000. So, that is 1.4. So, we have your 1.4 raised to 1 over 20 minus 1. And then, we now have this one. 1.4 raised to 1 over 20. So, that is 1.016965926 at ima-minus natin siya kay 1. And that will yields to the value of j, which is equivalent to 0.0170 kapag ni-round off natin siya to the nearest 10,000. Okay po? So that will be 0.0170. That would be the value of j, but we are looking for the nominal rate. So the nominal rate can be obtained by using the formula in getting j. So that is j equals the nominal rate divided by the frequency of conversion. So we have here 0.0170 equals, our nominal rate is unknown, over the frequency of conversion, sabi dyan 430, so that is 4. And then we have to multiply both sides by 4 para ma-cancel po ito at yung nominal rate yung matira sa kabilang side ng equation. So the nominal rate is equivalent to, that is 4 times 0.0170. That is 4 times, that would be 4 times 0.0170. So that would be equivalent to 0.068. Or in percent, we move the decimal point to decimal places. So that would be 6.8%. So our nominal rate would be 6.8%. Okay po? So 6.8% yung kailangang rate para mag-earn ng 10,000, yung 25,000 mo, kung compounded quarterly yan in 5 years. And that's how we solve for the nominal rate and the time of a compound interest given that it is compounded more than once a year.